Section 3, Unit 6, Drilling, Threading, Tapping, and Reaming. Introduction. Producing/modifying holes with hand tools at workbench to accept fasteners, pins, or shafts. Bench work, hole making operations. Drilling, using cylindrical rotating cutting tool. Twist drilling. Counterboring increases the diameter of a hole to a certain depth in order to recess a screw head. Spot facing, creating flat spot on a rough surface for a bolt or nut. Countersinking or chamfering, creating tapered opening at top of hole. Reaming, slightly enlarging existing hole to more accurate size with smoother surface. Twist drills. Twist drill bits have spiral flutes to help evacuate chips during drilling. A combination drill and countersink upper and a spot drill lower. Either of these tools may be used to spot drill hole locations to prevent the twist drill from walking off location. A counterbore being used to machine a hole for accommodating a bolt head or nut. Examples of counterbore bits. Top two have integral pilots. The bottom two have interchangeable pilots that are secured with a small screw. A workpiece with a counterbored hole and a spot face hole. Counterboring fully recesses a screw head, while spot facing simply provides a flat surface. Both features were created with the same cutting tool. Various sizes of countersinks. Cross section of countersunk hole accommodating the 82-degree head of a flathead screw. Examples of chucking reamers with straight flutes and spiral flutes. A hand reamer in use. Examples of hand reamers including general purpose spiral flute, expansion, adjustable, and taper pin. Note the square end of the shank for driving. Steps for performing a hand reaming operation. So select the desired reamer to mount in a tap wrench. Turn the reamer clockwise in the hole to start and check perpendicularity with the square. Apply downward pressure while rotating clockwise to ream the hole. Check for perpendicularity frequently. When the reamer passes through the workpiece and begins to turn easily, the hole is complete. Continue to turn clockwise when removing the reamer from the hole. Threading and tapping. Thread, spiral groove on a cylinder, external thread cut with thread cutting die, internal thread cut with a tap. Tap styles as hand tap, spiral point tap or gun tap, spiral flute tap, thread forming tap. Tap chamfers or taper, plug, and bottoming. An external thread being produced with a thread cutting die on the left and an internal thread being produced with a tap on the right. The elements of a 60-degree V-form thread. So you got your major diameter, your pitch diameter, which is going to be dead center of it. Minor diameter is going to be your least diameter there. Your pitch is from thread to thread, and of course you got 60 degree here. Your crest is the very top, and your root is the very bottom, and your thread depth is from the top to the bottom. And same thing except for vice versa on the internal thread. Your major diameter is going to be the crest, where your pitch diameter is going to be your root, and your minor diameter, your pitch diameter is going to be in between, but your minor diameter is going to be on the root. Alright, thread designation diagram for Uniform National Inch Thread Series. So your unified through screw thread designation, so this one's going to be 3/4, nominal major diameter. Sizes under 1/4 are classified as numbers 0 through 12. You're going to have 10 threads per inch. U is in form of unified national thread. The NC is series, so C or F for coarse or fine. So it'd be NF or UNC for coarse, UNF for fine. 3 is your class of fit. So 1 is a loose fit, 2 is a standard general fit, and 3 is a close fit. And A is external or B is internal. A half 20 bolt with thread dimensions and its corresponding thread design. So you got 20 thread per inch. It's an external thread, so it's an A, and it's a half nominal major diameter. Tapping and threading. So thread size is 0, your nominal is 60 thou, all the way to 12, which is 216. Isometric thread designation. M is isometric thread destination, M profile. 10 is their major diameter in millimeters. And then the 1.25 is your pitch of thread in millimeters. Diagram depicting percentage of thread height. So 100 is going to be touching at the top, at the crest and the root. Whereas 75, which is the most used, is going to have a little gap in there, making it a little easier to thread in and out. 50%, you're going to have a big gap, and that's going to be more your A. We're going to say this is A, B, and C with a little variance. These charts, you can get them anywhere, online or anything, and this actually shows if you're going to do, we'll do a half 20, I don't care. Now we'll do a half 13. So a half 13, you slide over, you're actually going to drill it 0.4219, and that's a 27/64 drill. So even though it's a half 13 hole, you're not going to drill it a half inch, you're going to drill it 27/64 so that you have room to make the thread. With a standard hand tap, chips are formed into small pieces that accumulate in the flute space. While with a spiral point tap, chips are formed into a stringy piece that are projected forward so that they may exit the bottom of a through hole. So you never want to use a spiral point tap on a enclosed hole. With a spiral flute tap, chips are formed into stringy pieces that are guided back through the flutes of the tap and ejected out the opening. Of a hole in the same manner as a twist drill. A form tap can be used to tap ductile metals. They do not cut and produce chips, but they form the thread by displacing material into the shape of the threads of the tap. Taper chamfer taps have a chamfer of 7 to 10 threads to make them easy to start. You can see that it's got a taper there at the end where there's not many threads. Plug chamfer taps have a chamfer type of 3 to 5 threads for relatively easy starting and for producing 4 threads fairly close to the bottom of the blind hole. And bottoming chamfer taps have a chamfer on 1 or 2 threads for finishing previously tapped holes and for producing 4 threads very close to the bottom of blind holes. A T-handle tap wrench and a straight tap wrench provide leverage for turning taps by hand. A square or block can be used to keep the tap straight during hand tapping. Check at 2 places, each 90 degrees apart. Estimating tap turns for depth. Inch thread is turns would equal the depth times threads per inch. So a tap of 3/8 16 to a half inch depth, the depth is a half inch, the TPI is 16, so 1/2 times 16 is 8 turns are needed. Metric is turns equals depth times pitch, or divided by pitch. Tap M5 by 8.8 to 7 millimeters deep. Depth is 7, pitch is 0.8, 7 divided by 0.8 is 8.75, and 8 3/4 turns are needed. Measuring thread depth. A tap extractor engaging with the flutes of a broken tap. So step 1. Thoroughly remove all chips from the broken tap. Insert the extractor fingers into the flutes of the broken tap, pushing them gently but firmly into position. Step 2. Push the holder down until it touches the broken tap. Slide the sleeve down until it touches the work. Step 3. Apply a tap wrench to the square end of the holder. Twist forward and backwards a few times to loosen, then back out the broken tap. This is a split round die. Notice the split at the top. The cutters of a 2-piece die and the cutters mounted in a collar, a solid hexagonal die, a solid round die. Creating a chamfer on the end of a workpiece helps a thread cutting die to smart more easily. A die used to hold thread cutting dies. Cutting external threads with a hand threading die, always start with the chamfered side of the die.